Gathered here this morning to see the Lord, to hear His word for us, and today it comes to us from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 26, verses 69, and then in through 27:10. In this passage, we see Peter and Judas in their moment of testing, where success and failure hang in the balance. The adoring crowds of Palm Sunday, though only 4 days past, might as well have been an eternity. So radical has been the shift in the city of Jerusalem. It's Thursday, and Jesus has had the Last Supper with His disciples. Judas has left the supper early and leads the Romans to the Garden of Gethsemane, where Jesus is arrested and taken to the high priest's home for interrogation. 26:69. Now Peter was sitting outside in the courtyard, and a servant girl came to him and said, "You also were with Jesus the Galilean." But he denied it before all of them, saying, "I don't know what you're talking about." And when he went out to the porch, another servant girl saw him, and said to the bystanders, "This man was with Jesus of Nazareth." Again, he denied it, this time with an oath, saying, "I don't know the man." After a little while, the bystanders came and said to Peter, "Certainly you are also one of them, for your accent betrays you." And then he began to curse, and he swore with an oath, saying, "I don't know the man." And at that very moment, the cock crowed. And then Peter remembered what Jesus had said, "Before the cock crows, you will deny me 3 times." And he went out, and he wept bitterly. When morning came, all of the chief priests and the elders of the people conferred together against Jesus in order to bring about his death. They bound him, led him away, and handed him over to Pilate, the governor. When Judas, his betrayer, saw that Jesus was condemned, he repented. A better translation is, he was overwhelmed with remorse. And he brought back the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and to the elders. And he said, "I have sinned by betraying innocent blood." But they said, "What is that to us? See to it yourself." Throwing down the pieces of silver in the temple, he departed, and he went out, and he hanged himself. Here ends the reading of God's word. May God add a blessing to it.
So, you answer this? How bad was Judas? Bad.
Really bad.
Bad.
Well, the south side of Charleston is the baddest part of town. And if you go down there, you better just beware of a man named Judas Priest. Now Judas was in trouble. You see, he stand about 6'4". All the downtown ladies call the treetop lover. All the men just call him so. And he's bad, bad, Judas Priest. Baddest man in the whole damn town. Badder than old King Kong, meaner than a junkyard dog. Now Judas, he's a gambler, and he likes his fancy clothes, and he likes to wear his diamond rings in front of everybody's nose. He got a custom pair of sandals, he got a brand new donkey too. He got a 32 gun in his pocket full of fun. He got a razor in his shoe. And he's bad, bad, Leroy Brown, the baddest man in the whole damn town. Badder than an old King Kong, and meaner than a junkyard dog. Now Judas took to saying, he said, "I'm really still your friend." And then he all reached out and the coins fell down, and he hung himself and died. And he's bad, bad, Judas Priest, the baddest man in the whole damn town. Badder than old King Kong, meaner than a junkyard dog. Yeah, he was better than a walking dog, and meaner than a junkyard dog.
Peter, son of Peter, is that you?
Yes, Judas, over here.
Did you find a place?
Yes, I found a spot behind these trees.
Great, thanks. How many guards do you suppose are looking for us?
Seems like dozens. Just when I think the coast is clear, another patrol goes by. Should be a safe place, though. They're more likely to trip over us than actually see us.
Yeah, good spot. Daylight won't be for 8 more hours. By then, Jesus should have this whole thing straightened out.
You think so?
Oh yeah, plenty of time.
I mean, do you really think he'll do it?
Save a couple of loyal disciples like us? Of course he will. Jesus is a stand-up guy. He would no more bail on his disciples than a mama bear would fail to protect her cubs. Besides, didn't he make you vice president and me treasurer? Even if he doesn't save the others, he's sure to protect us.
I don't know. It doesn't look to me like we've been all that loyal.
What? Us not loyal? Haven't you been listening? Remember what Jesus has been teaching us? We obeyed all his rules. And even remember what the other apostles have been saying? They're always telling us what it means to be a disciple of Jesus. We're the perfect models, if you ask me.
Models of what?
Well, following, for example. Philip and Andrew were always telling us to be loyal disciples. Are always telling us that being loyal disciples means following Jesus. Come and see, they say. Come and see Jesus. Come and see the signs. Come and see and all he does and says and all that he is.
So being a disciple means following. I'll buy that. It seems very natural, and I suppose you believe that we've been perfect models of those who come and see.
Walking around with Jesus through all this territory for 3 years ought to count for something. That's what I'm saying.
But doesn't following mean more than just being in the crowd?
Following has to be the first step, but you're right. There is more to discipling than just following. Don't forget what Matthew and Simon have been saying.
About the world, you mean?
Right. A true disciple of Jesus learns to be in the world, not just of the world. We do not separate ourselves from the world or try to force it into some mold we approve of. At the same time, we don't just go along with everything the world does.
And there again, do you believe that we've met the requirements of being true disciples?
There's no doubt in my mind. We, that is you, me, and maybe 3 others, have kept the creative current attention. And we have become maybe better disciples because of it.
Again, where you are certain, I have my doubts. It's so much easier to go along with the world than try to change it to fit my needs.
Well, I guess most disciples still have work to do. But give it time, my brother. Soon enough, being in the world and not of it will become second nature to you, just like it has for me.
You call me brother. That's another part of discipleship. Isn't it mutual love an important part of being a disciple?
Right you are. Disciples of Jesus love each other like family. I don't know if it was an accident on Jesus' part, but it turned out to be a good thing that he chose 2 brothers, James and John, to be apostles.
But there again, brother, mutual love is so much easier to honor and to claim than it is to do. I know love is important, and it's easy to say I love the other disciples, but to be honest, it's difficult at times.
Don't be so hard on yourself. You honor mutual love, and that's most of the battle right there. Now just keep saying it. I love my brothers. I love my sisters. Let mutual tolerance continue. Pretty soon you will find yourself loving other disciples, or at least knowing which ones to steer clear of.
It's true that loving is work.
And we're good at it. Well, good enough anyhow.
So tell me, Judas, is there any modesty in your family?
Why, Peter, you embarrass me. Do you think I have not been listening to our brothers James the Less and Jude? They're the experts on humility. I suppose it's because of all that practice. But please, believe me when I say a good measure of humility has rubbed off on me. You too, I'm sure.
And humility is also a mark of a disciple.
True. And a real disciple of Jesus thinks of others first. A real disciple uses gifts and talents to foster the work of the kingdom.
And that you have done.
I can tell you, can I let you in on a little secret? I've been taking some money out of the common purse.
You have? But isn't that stealing?
Not at all. I only take out money when I see a genuine need, something good for the kingdom. I think this is the job of the treasurer as a calling. It's truly humble for me to use my financial gifts in this way.
Humility takes work too.
Indeed it does. Whoa, get down.
What is it?
That way. Soldiers, must be 200 of them.
They must have found something. I hope it's not. No. Are you sure? It's Jesus going. Jesus is going to straighten this all out and help us apostles.
Sure, why?
I just have my doubts. I thought for a second I saw him being led away by the soldiers.
Doubts? Well, those are normal too for disciples. Maybe you did see Jesus, but trust him. It's like Thomas and Nathaniel are always saying, trust.
As simple as that?
Bet on it. The key is to keep trusting through your doubts. Pretty soon the doubt will go away. If that was Jesus that you saw, sure enough he'll escape. Or maybe he's got an even bigger plan. He'll take charge of the soldiers himself. Pretty soon he'll have an army to conquer all of Israel.
You think so?
Yes, I do.
And then he'll pluck us up from behind these trees.
Yes, he will.
And make us governor or senator or something like that.
Without a doubt. A couple of faithful disciples like us deserve a reward, and a big one at that.
Aren't you forgetting something, Judas?
Like what?
Like the really big things we did, and not the good things either. I had a chance to speak up for him, and what did I do? I denied even knowing him. And you betrayed him. You sold him out for a bag of silver.
I kind of forgot about that.
And now what? Here we are, the denier and the betrayer, hiding behind some trees. Does that sound like loyal disciples to you?
Not exactly, but we all have our moments. You can't take things like that out of context. I still say the good stuff we did outweighs the bad. You don't think they'll hold that against us, do you?
Only time will tell, Judas. Only time will tell. We better get some sleep. We'll know more in the morning. Judas, wake up. It's daylight.
How long did we sleep? What time is it?
I don't know, but we must have slept most of the morning. It's nearly broad daylight.
Any word from Jesus?
There's something going on over there at that hill.
That's where the Romans crucify criminals, isn't it?
Yes, it looks like some crosses are going up now. Oh, Jesus is with them.
Is he going to crucify some of his enemies? You know, I only betrayed him because I knew he would turn the tables on the Romans. You don't think he'll put me on the cross, do you?
No, I'm sure he won't. He's one of the people being crucified.
Are you sure? Oh, Peter, it wasn't supposed to happen to him. It was just a mistake.
And I didn't mean to deny him. But as far as mistakes go, this is a big one. I only hope he can forgive us.
Forgive us? Are you crazy? He's dying over there. We'll never make this up. We can't be true disciples from now till forever and never cancel this out.
Judas, listen. You know all about what the apostles taught, but now remember what Jesus taught. About forgiveness. Forgiveness isn't about making excuses or doing good to make up the bad stuff. Forgiveness is grace, and Jesus knows how to forgive.
No, it can't be. He'll never forgive this. I'll never forgive myself.
The only way we'll know for sure is to go to him and ask.
No, it's all lost, I tell you. He's finished and so are we. I'm going to end it my own way.
Judas, no, come back. Judas, please. There are many ways to mark a disciple. It's true that disciples of Jesus follow him. They live in the world without becoming part of it. They love one another as family. They are humble and they trust in the midst of their doubts. These are true to one degree or another, but none is a sure thing. One sure sign of a disciple of Jesus is redemption. In the end, it's something we do, but something that is done for us. True disciples of Jesus are forgiven. As his disciples, let's go from this day following him from the foot of his cross that leads to the empty tomb.